This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there, Jeff Cutter. I welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday boy for today, January 21st, is a Nigerian basketball legend. He's nicknamed the Dream, one of the best setters of all time. He played from 1984 to 2002 in the NBA, helping the Rockets win back-to-back titles in 94 and 95. He was named to the Basketball Hall of Fame in 2008. He's now 59 years old. He is Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Olajuwon was a great player. He was actually a soccer goalie, which helped him get the footwork and agility to balance the size and strength in basketball. He never played basketball until he was 15 years old. Anyway, it was hard to believe and all that. Anyway, Olajuwon would emigrate from Nigeria to play basketball at the University of Houston under Guy Lewis, who's one of the best coaches who never won an NCAA title. Olajuwon was not really recruited and was given a visit to the university to work out based on a recommendation. So, of course, when he arrived at the airport, no representative of the Cougars were there to greet him. Well, he redshirted his freshman year because he couldn't play. Yeah, he was basically the sixth man, the guy coming off the bench in '82, helping Houston out whenever possible. But Houston did lose to North Carolina in the Final Four, NCAA Final Four. Olajuwon wanted advice about how to increase his playing time, and they advised him to work out with Houston resident and multiple NBA MVP Moses Malone. So it looked good. Olajuwon took it in stride. He was a different player. And all that. He helped Phi Slamma Jamma, the slam dunking fraternity of Houston, alongside Clyde Drexler, because of his above the rim prowess. In his sophomore and junior years, he got Houston to back-to-back NCAA title games. In '83, they, of course, looked good against NC State, but NC State purposely slowed down Houston's fast-paced stuff by forcing Houston to play at their level. Now, of course, there was no shot clock until 1986 in college basketball, so that could have happened. But in '84, Patrick Ewing and Georgetown finally got their title, knocking down Houston. Olajuwon was named the Tournament Player of the Year in '83 for some reason. He is the last player from a losing side to be granted this honor. Anyway, Drexler went to the NBA for the '83 season, leaving Olajuwon as the lone star. Olajuwon didn't know whether to stay in college or declare for the NBA draft. So his intuition was right because Houston, in a coin flip, got the number one pick ahead of Portland. Actually, what happened before the draft lottery was that the two worst teams, the worst team in the Eastern Conference and Western Conference, would flip a coin. And whoever won got the one pick, whoever lost got the two pick. So basically, Houston won the coin flip over Portland. But Portland had Indiana's first round pick from a few years prior. Well, in a trade a few years later. So Houston took Hakeem Olajuwon. Smart move. I mean, he played for the college team in Houston. So, yeah. Houston did its own job. And, of course, Houston picked him first overall in '84. There was actually rumors that there was a draft day trade that would happen that would have sent Clyde Drexler. Portland was going to send Clyde Drexler and the number 2 pick to Houston for Ralph Sampson because they liked Sampson. And it would be funny that Drexler, a University of Houston alum, would play with Olajuwon, another University of Houston Olajuwon. And a lot of people said Houston might have taken Michael Jordan with the number 2 pick. But it wasn't meant to be. Anyway, Olajuwon's rookie season would help Houston go from 29 wins to 53 to 48 wins. He teamed up with Ralph Sampson, who was the previous year's Rookie of the Year, to be the Twin Towers, 7'4" and 7 foot. Olajuwon averaged more than 20 points a game in his rookie season, but unfortunately, he was runner-up to Michael Jordan for Rookie of the Year. Olajuwon would do much better in his second pro season, helping Houston win 51 games and shocking the LA Lakers in the conference finals on a Ralph Sampson turnaround shot in Game 5. Olajuwon was the hero in Games 3 and 4, scoring a lot of things. Houston did go to the finals and get taken out by the Celtics in 6, but I mean, still amazing what could happen. Sampson would be traded to Golden State during the 88 season, and Olajuwon would have had to carry the team by himself. And he did all that. Olajuwon looked pretty good in all that. In 1990, he actually became the third player to lead the league in rebounding and shot blocking in the same season, joining Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Walton. Houston did their job, all that. There were rumors circulating by 93 that Houston was going to end up trading Olajuwon because Olajuwon asked to be traded. Well, Olajuwon requested a trade because of his bad contract. He was not traded, and the Rockets got Rudy Tomjanovich to be coach, and it worked out. Houston got 55 wins in the 93 season and almost took care of Seattle to go to the conference finals. And Olajuwon was second in MVP to Barkley. So they gave him a 4-year contract extension. And it was a great time for Olajuwon in the next few years. It was a center's game again. Ewing, Robinson, Shaq, Mutombo, Rodman, Malone. Olajuwon had some primeness and all that. And Olajuwon helped the Houston Rockets win the 1994 title in a famous Game 7 over the New York Knicks. So it was amazing, all that. But he made one of the most famous blocks in NBA Finals history in Game 6. The Knicks were up 3-2 with a win, getting the Knicks the title. The Rockets were only up by 2 in the last second as John Starks tried for a three-pointer, but Olajuwon blocked the shot just slightly to force a Game 7. Starks went ice cold in Game 7, and Olajuwon scored 25 points, 10 rebounds, giving Houston, the city of Houston, its first title since the AFL championship in 1961 by the Houston Oilers. Olajuwon was named MVP of the NBA Finals. Well, obviously he should have. And in 94, he became the only player in NBA history to win the MVP, the championship, the Finals MVP, and the Defensive Player of the Year in the same season. And actually, he was the first foreign-born player to win the MVP award. Olajuwon helped the Rockets repeat champs in 95. And also, that team got Clyde Drexler from the Trailblazers. But in the playoffs, Houston shocked a lot of people by beating 3 50-win teams on their way to the title. And all of that. And swept the young Shaq and his Orlando Magic. Olajuwon would settle back, but unfortunately, age would catch up to him. Houston decided to rebuild. And Olajuwon actually had a $13 million deal with the Rockets come to him. But for some strange reason, he decided not to take it. Kind of stupid. Olajuwon was traded to Toronto for draft picks. This was amazing. He would have a 3-year contract worth $18 million, so $6 million a year. Wow, that's amazing. He scored 11 points in his first Raptor game in 22 minutes of time against the Magic. Unfortunately, he decided to retire after one season with the Raptors. And Olajuwon became the all-time leading leader in block shots because shot blocking was not an official stat until 73-74. And I think Abdul-Jabbar and Chamberlain would have beaten him. The Rockets would retire his numbers shortly after his retirement. And Olajuwon did pretty well for himself. Olajuwon was named a naturalized American citizen in '93, so he was allowed to get a FIBA exception in '96 and play for the U.S. team at the Olympics in '96. He played 7 of the 8 games and started 2 of them, so he would share time with Shaq and David Robinson, but he did okay. He was known for his dream shake stuff and all that. Olajuwon married his current wife in 1996 in Houston. They have 4 children together, 2 daughters and 2 sons. Olajuwon actually had an older daughter from a previous relationship who had played in the WNBA, Abisola. So in addition to English, Olajuwon is fluent in French, Arabic, and the Nigerian languages. Anyway, yeah. Olajuwon was a physical education major at University of Houston. His Muslim faith was huge. In Olajuwon's college career, in early years, he was often undisciplined, talking back to officials and getting in fights and technical fouls. However, Olajuwon would take interest in spirituality, becoming a more devout Muslim. So in March of 1991, he added an H in front of his name. He was known as Hakeem Olajuwon for many years, but then it changed to Hakeem. I'm not changing the spelling of my name, he said. I'm correcting it. And he studies the Quran every day. Olajuwon was named one of the best elite centers, but unfortunately, his strict observance of Ramadan kind of does do him in because he can't eat or drink during daylight hours for about a month. And a lot of people said Olajuwon was better when Ramadan happened, which is kind of weird and all that. So anyway, Olajuwon has a home in Jordan, the country Jordan, and his ranch near Houston. So he's done well for himself. So anyway, he's a 2-time NBA champion, 94-95, both times NBA Finals MVP, the NBA MVP 94, Defensive Player of the Year 93-94, 12-time All-Star, Olympic gold medalist, one of the 50 and 75 greatest NBA players of all time. And I think that's pretty much it. In his career, over 1,230 games in the regular season, only 1 year with the Raptors, so 21.8 points per game, 11.1 rebounds, 3 blocks a game. 3 blocks a game. Yikes. He averaged that in his career. In the playoffs, he was good. 145 games in the playoffs, 25.9 points, 11.2 rebounds, 3.3 blocks. So, yeah, he was a shot blocking machine as we know it. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adu.